Ciao ragazzi! In this video, you will learn to use two tenses, il futuro, the future tense, and il condizionale, the conditional tense. So let's look at a timeline to clarify the differences between the two. Obviously, the present tense expresses what is occurring now. For example, I study, you listen, he sleeps. The future tense expresses certainties that will occur at some point in the future. In English, we use will before the verb to express this. For example, I will study, you will listen, he will sleep. The conditional is all about possibilities and probabilities, things that could, might, or should happen but are not definite. For this reason, we don't show this tense directly on the timeline, but rather as an alternate possibility, an alternate reality almost. So some examples of this tense in English are I would study, you would listen, he would sleep. In Italian, the present, future, and conditional tenses are all similar in that they are single word tenses. They are formed by identifying the stem of the verb and adding a pattern of verb endings. For example, the present, io studio, tu ascolti, lui dorme. In the future, io studierò, tu ascolterai, lui dormirà. And in the conditional, io studierei, tu ascolteresti, lui dormirebbe. Both the future and the conditional tenses are quite easy to learn because there are many similarities in the groups of endings we need to apply. In fact, the are and ere endings are exactly the same. For the future tense, we have ero, erai, era, eremo, erete, eranno. And the ire endings are only slightly different in the future. Irò, irai, ira, iremo, irete, iranno. So as you can see, are and ere start with an E, and ire replaces that E with an I. For the conditional tense, the are and ere tenses, the are and ere endings are again exactly the same. So erei, eresti, erebbe, eremmo, ereste, erebbero. And again, ire is very similar. We simply replace the first E with an I. So irei, iresti, irebbe, iremmo, ireste, irebbero. A good way to differentiate between the two is to think about the sounds of the endings. The future tense expresses a definite thing. So we have harsher, more forceful sounding endings with accents like ero, erai, era. The conditional, on the other hand, is all about possibilities, so the endings are longer and have more vowel sounds like erei, eresti, erebbe. There are, of course, always some key irregular verbs that we need to know. Avere and essere are always the most important. So the future tense, avrò, avrai, avrà, avremo, avrete, avranno. And the future of essere, sarò, sarai, sarà, saremo, sarete, saranno. In conditional, avrei, avresti, avrebbe, avremmo, avreste, avrebbero. And essere in the conditional, sarei, saresti, sarebbe, saremmo, sareste, sarebbero. There are other irregular verbs that we need to be aware of in both tenses. However, the verbs that are irregular in the future tense are also irregular in the conditional tense, which makes them easier to remember. They can also be grouped into 3 categories. So first we have the missing E group, where we remove the E or the vowel at the beginning of the infinitive ending and then apply the future or the conditional pattern. So for example, potere becomes potrò in the future, and all of the other conjugations follow. So io potrò, tu potrai, lui potrà, noi potremo, voi potrete, loro potranno. In the conditional, we still remove the E and we get potrei. Io potrei, tu potresti, lui lei potrebbe, noi potremmo, voi potreste, loro potrebbero. Other verbs in this group include dovere, which becomes dovrò, dovrei, sapere, saprò, saprei, cadere, cadrò, cadrei, andare, andrò, andrei, vedere, vedrò, vedrei, vivere, vivrò, vivrei. We also have another group where we remove the final E. So dare, for example, becomes darò and darei in the conditional. Fare, farò, farei. Stare, starò, starei. And the last category is the double R group. So we remove the final letters and insert a double R into the conjugation. So volere, for example, becomes vorrò in the future and vorrei in the conditional. Bere, berrò, berrei. Rimanere, rimarrò, rimarrei. Venire, verrò, verrei. Tenere, terrò, terrei. So you are now familiar with the future tense used to express what will happen and the conditional used to express what might happen. Continue to practice these in your speaking and writing to develop your confidence. Arrivederci e buon lavoro.